morning. It's a sunny day here in Central Florida, and I'm going to try to make some crepes for breakfast. I often make pancakes. Crepes are more of a European style dish. The recipe is different. They're a lot thinner than traditional American pancakes. They don't have the baking powder and baking soda, and the ratios you use on the ingredients is different. I'm going to get started on it right now. See how well I do. Let you know how it's going. I haven't made crepes before, so I'm going to start with the simplest, most traditional recipe that I could find. Now, most chefs, when they cook by ratios rather than by a fixed recipe. This lets them scale what they're cooking up and down according to the number of servings they need to make. The standard ratio for crepes is 1 to 1 to 1/2 of egg liquid flour. Now that might sound a little confusing if you haven't cooked with ratios before. What that means is 1 volume of egg and the equal volume of milk, and then half as much volume of flour. Now with especially American recipes, you usually don't think in terms of a cup of eggs, but I'm going to crack the eggs into this 2-cup measure. I'm going to add a little bit of melted butter to it and then fill it with milk so that I get a total of 2 cups of liquid. Okay, that ended up being 5 of the US size large eggs, almost exactly 1 cup. I melted some butter earlier. I'm going to add that right in with the eggs. And then I will fill this to the 2-cup level with milk. By starting with the eggs, keeping everything in a single 2-cup measure, I get the exact amount of liquid that I need to match the flour that I'm going to put in. Next, this gets thoroughly blended. You can use a blender, you can use a hand mixer. I'm going to use an immersion mixer that I have. And next, I'm slowly going to add the flour while mixing and trying not to make a mess. This is blended now. If you were expecting an American pancake batter, you'd think this was way too thin, but that's the way crepes are supposed to be. The batter needs to sit for a period of time, and I'll go get some coffee. Pan's been sitting warming up, batter's been sitting. I'm ready to give this a try. I'm sure there's technique and a lot to be learned about how to cook the crepes. So fortunately I have a lot of batter here, 8 to 10 crepes. I'll get some practice in. Again, much thinner than an American pancake mix, so I already poured it too quickly to start with. I tilted the pan around to get it evenly spread out. That almost looks like a crepe. Not bad for my first one. That's my first one. I'm going to taste this one without any filling, just to get a sense of what the flavor of the batter itself is. And I'll try, I have some honey and some strawberry sauce over there. Might get some maple syrup out too to use for filling for the others. That one got a little overdone. I think my pan has gotten a little bit too hot, so I'll let it cool off before I do the next one. This one I put some honey in. That's good. A strawberry sauce filled one. While that one's cooking, I'll try the strawberry one. Also good. Next batch I make, I think I'll put just a little bit of sugar in the batter, maybe only a teaspoon, and perhaps a touch of salt as well. This one I didn't swirl around as much, so it's thicker, and the pan maybe cooled off a little too much, so it's a lot more like an American pancake. I'm getting a little better at getting the consistency, texture, and appearance that I want out of these. Well, I'm going to wrap that up, start cleaning up. This was something new that I was trying. I've got a lot more to learn about making crepes, particularly cooking them. Controlling the temperature of the pan looks like it's very important for getting a consistent crepe result. Make sure to check for notes in the video description as well and recipe details. Thanks for joining me. I'm Professor M. Hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see you next time on Cooking with the Professor.
Stay tuned for some outtakes.
I found a couple of recipes for them. but the way I'm going to make them is using the ratios that a lot of chefs use. The ratios are a good way to stumble over words.